Assalamualaikum. Today's video is an enrichment of a past upload on Bernoulli principle. We shall look at two situations where Bernoulli principle cannot be applied because the internal friction within the fluid, also known as the fluid's viscosity, is significant. How does viscosity affect the volume flow rate of blood in our arteries? And how viscosity determines the terminal speed of an object moving in a liquid? Just hang on, watch and learn. Question number 1. Viscous blood is flowing through an artery partially clogged by cholesterol. A surgeon wants to remove enough of the cholesterol to double the flow rate of blood through this artery. If the original diameter of the artery is capital D, what should be the new diameter in terms of capital D to accomplish this for the same pressure gradient? Before solving this problem, recall that viscosity is the internal friction in a fluid. Viscous forces oppose the motion of one portion of a fluid relative to another. Viscous effects are important in the flow of fluids in pipes, the flow of blood, the lubrication of engine parts, and many other situations. Viscosity depends primarily on temperature. As temperature increases, viscosities of gases increase and viscosities of liquids decrease. In question number 1, we apply Poiseuille's law, which states that the volume flow rate, denoted here by capital Q, is proportional to the radius r raised to the fourth power, where radius r is the radius of the cross-section in a pipe, a tube, or an artery. As suggested in the figure, the flow speed profile for a laminar flow of a viscous fluid in a long cylindrical pipe has a parabolic shape. A viscous fluid always tends to cling to a solid surface in contact with it. There is always a thin boundary layer of fluid near the surface, in which the fluid is nearly at rest with respect to the surface. The farther the fluid layer from the solid surface, the faster is the flow. A law known as Poiseuille's law, in honor of a French physicist, Jean Leonard Marie Poiseuille, states that the volume flow rate, denoted here by capital Q, is proportional to the fourth power of the radius capital R, where capital R is the inside radius of the artery, that is half the inside diameter. So in question number 1, if the volume flow rate capital Q is to be doubled, then the radius capital R of the blood artery should increase by a factor of the fourth root of 2, or 2 raised to the 1/4 power, which is, of course, equal to 1.2 in two significant figures. Therefore, we say that the diameter of the blood artery must be 1.2 times the original diameter. Alright? This is for the same pressure gradient. Question number 2. The terminal velocity of a copper ball, radius 2.0 millimeter, falling through a tank of oil at 20 degrees Celsius is 6.5 centimeters per second. Compute the viscosity of the oil at 20 degrees Celsius. The density of oil is 1.5 times 10 to the third kilogram per meter cube, and the density of copper is 8.9 times 10 to the third kilogram per meter cube. The figure illustrates the three forces acting on the spherical copper ball moving in a viscous oil. There's an upward drag force. Okay, the drag force Fd is due to the viscosity of oil. And then we also have the upward buoyant force, denoted by Fb, right? And of course, gravitational force Fg, acting on the sphere of radius small r, right? With density ρ, moving with velocity v in a fluid of density sigma and viscosity eta. So this Greek letter eta is the symbol for viscosity, or also called the coefficient of viscosity of the fluid. Now there's another law called Stokes law. Okay. This law gives the factors that affect the magnitude of the drag force, such as the radius small r of the spherical ball, the viscosity coefficient eta, and the speed v of the ball, right? So the force or drag force Fd, according to Stokes law, is just equal to 6 pi times the radius small r times the viscosity coefficient eta and multiplied by the velocity of the ball. In question number 2, we are given the terminal speed v of the ball equal to 6.5 centimeters per second. Also, we are given the radius small letter r of the ball equal to 2.0 millimeters. And of course, the densities of the liquid oil and the copper ball. The density of oil is denoted here by the Greek letter sigma, and it is equal to 1.5 times 10 to the third power kilogram per meter cube, while the density of the copper ball is denoted by the Greek letter rho. It is equal to 8.9 times 10 to the third kilogram per meter cube. And the target variable in this problem is the viscosity, or the coefficient of viscosity, denoted by the Greek letter eta. When the two upward forces, the drag force plus the buoyant force, okay, will equalize the gravitational force, then the ball will attain its terminal velocity or terminal speed v sub t. So, the derived equation for determining the terminal velocity of the ball, okay, we have this formula. V sub t, or terminal velocity of the ball, equals 2 times the square of the radius of the ball multiplied by the difference in the densities of the metal ball and the liquid oil, to be multiplied by acceleration due to gravity g, and then divided by 9 times the viscosity coefficient, or 9 eta. But since what we are looking for is the viscosity coefficient eta, then we just isolate eta and then come up with this working formula. Eta equals 2 times r squared multiplied by the difference in the densities, rho minus sigma, and then times g divided by 9 times the terminal velocity, right? So when we plug in the quantities into this formula, we have 2 times the square of the radius of the ball, already converted in meters, 2.0 times 10 to the negative 3 meters, then multiplied by the difference in the densities of the copper ball and the liquid oil, which is 7.4 times 10 to the third power kilogram per meter cube, then times g, which is 9.8 meters per second squared, all over 9 times the terminal velocity, already converted in meters per second. That is 6.5 times 10 to the negative 2 meters per second. So, when you do our math, all right, the product of the quantities in the numerator is equal to 580.16 times 10 to the negative 3 kilogram per second squared. That is to be divided by the product of the quantities in the denominator, equal to 58.5 times 10 to the negative 2 meters per second. So finally, okay, simplifying this, we will get the value of eta, or the viscosity coefficient, equal to 0.99 kilogram per meter per second. Well, that is also equal to 0.99 wasai, which is the SI unit for the coefficient of viscosity. So that ends our video lesson for this topic. Till the next episode, mabuhay, mashallah. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow me in my FB page, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.